Today we're going to be reviewing the SHOEI GT Air 2, and it starts right now. Now, this is my daily rider, so I apologize for the bug mess. If you're new to the channel, welcome. In this channel we focus on things such as, well, today, gear reviews, motorcycle reviews, and really all sorts of motorcycle related content, including motovlogs. If you're interested in that kind of thing, please feel free, subscribe, and stay a while. But now, let's get into the review. Before we get started with my thinking and my opinions, let's take a look at what the internet has to say, starting off with our featured stupid review. Worse in every way from the original GT Air. Airflow, garbage. Anything less than 50 miles per hour, you just get a stagnant pocket of air around your mouth. Noise, louder than the GT Air. Weight, heavier than the GT Air. Sun visor, lighter than the GT Air to the point where it's basically pointless. Visor, in making it wider, they made it too flexible. Pushing down on the tab to latch the visor down doesn't work, because the visor flexes and bows out on the other side instead of latching. You have to either grab the whole thing and slam it down, or press in the right side of the visor to line up the latch. And that only works sometimes. Last thing you need at freeway speeds is to have to be screwing around with a poorly designed latch. SHOEI should be embarrassed to have ever put this out on the market in this state. If there were any original GT Air helmets still for sale, I'd buy one of those over this in a heartbeat. Okay, so as with all things, there are partial truths in this review here. But the main point that I want to highlight out of this, the reason why I even do these stupid reviews, as I put it, is when someone takes a good helmet like this and downs it to a 1 or a 2 star, you know, it's it's very overstated and very emotionally driven. So as this, I've had this for approximately 1 year, and honestly, this has been a really great helmet for me. And I want to go over some of the truths in that statement, as well as some additional points that I have to say. So first of all, the GT Air line of motorcycle helmets is designed to be aerodynamic. That's where they get the air portion of that name. And so that's really the focus of the original GT Air and the GT Air 2. And you can kind of see that these are cool styling points, other than the fact that this matte black really attracts my fingerprints. I normally don't have my hands all over it though. But the GT Air is really designed for people that do not have windscreens on their motorcycles. And you'll notice if you look at any of the reviews, that seems to be the case. People that have windscreens don't like this helmet. And the reason is, if the air comes up over that windscreen and hits right here where this vent is, apparently it makes a loud noise, and it makes this a loud helmet. If you don't have that, you would think it's kind of counterintuitive, but if you don't have that windscreen hitting the air up there and taking the air away from below, it's actually much quieter. And that's been my experience. I don't have a windscreen on any of my motorcycles, and I absolutely love it. As far as the visor popping up and down, I mean, it's pretty simple. One-handed, knock it down, closes, seals just fine. That in the review I just read is completely inaccurate. Maybe they got a bad model. I don't know. But let's take a look at a few other things. So, noise reduction. Is that a good feature of this? Yes. Again, if you don't have a windscreen, this is great for noise reduction. If you have a windscreen that allows the air to hit that top part, this is not the motorcycle helmet for you. Style. Now this is very subjective, but I think this is a good looking helmet. I really do. I feel like SHOEI helmets in general have really good design and style. And one of the benefits that I like about this when you're going down the road, again, with no windshield, is the previous helmet I had was more, I would say more round shaped. It definitely didn't have some of these aerodynamic crevices built into it. And you'd get a lot of wind buffeting. Your helmet would just kind of knock around while you're riding, especially in highway speeds, obviously. and it was very loud. I don't get that in this. This is designed very well to where it keeps you from actually experiencing that wind buffing. So that's a really good benefit to this helmet. Fit and comfort, I love the padding in here. It's designed supposedly with, you know, this type of fabric that's supposed to keep it clean and dry and everything, and that's definitely been my experience. You know, I've never actually taken these out and washed them. I'm not sure how you would even do that, but it does not smell. It does not seem to have any problems at all, and I drive with this every single time I go out. As you can see, I've got my little motovlog setup here, which you may or may not have on yours. If you are thinking of motovlogging though, just know that it is possible to set this one up, although there is a very small limited space where you can actually attach this to, because it does have a lot of these aerodynamic features built into it. It's not a flat surface. Also ventilation. Now you have 3 different areas where you have ventilation coming through. You have the front here where you have near your mouth, but it actually comes up, in my experience, above where your mouth hits, which I actually like, closer to your nose. Comes in up through there. There's actually 2 vents in there, and that works very well. Top vent as well here. It's open and close. Let's see if I can, yeah. You can open that and close it, and that actually works very well, keeping the top of your head cool. Then you also have, on the very back, these are passive vents. You can't open and close these, are always open. So if you prefer to have those closed at times, this may again not be the helmet for you. The GT Air had the ability to close those. In the climate that I live in, I always have those open. It's always nice and warm. So I definitely like that feature. As far as safety goes, this is DOT certified, and it does not have some of the other fancier certifications, primarily I believe because the sun visor. You do have a sun visor here, and I'm no expert on the different certifications for safety, but anytime you have a sun visor in a helmet, it will not pass some of the safety certifications, and I believe that's what keeps this one from passing some of the others. But DOT is definitely good enough in my book, and so I appreciate that from a safety standpoint. Also, another safety feature that I've really liked is these little red straps here. They're what they call EQRS, Emergency Quick Release System. So if you ever were to get into a crash, they can just pull this. I won't do it right now because I've got all my wires connected in behind the pads, but they can quickly pull those out with the helmet in your head and make it to where it's easier to pull that helmet off. So that's a very good safety feature as well. Really, the difference between the GT Air and the GT Air 2 is right here. This is allows you to attach a SHOEI system. Just know that if you are getting it for that purpose, it's the SHOEI SRL2. I believe only that model actually fits in here. So it allows you to not have to have some big bulky device here on the side. It seamlessly integrates into there. It's really actually a nice item. It's not why I purchased it. I've never actually used the SHOEI system, as I typically ride solo. But if you are looking into having something like that more integrated into your helmet, hey, there you go. Also, another thing that's kind of nice about that is there are areas where you can actually run the cords for that SHOEI system as what it's designed for. I like it because I'm able to run my microphone cord through there, and it kind of gives me some extra space for that. So very cool features there. One other thing to note is it is eyeglass compatible is what it says. So I don't wear eyeglasses, but if you do, just know that you should be able to fit your eyeglasses on, and I'm guessing it kind of fits through this little piece right there. So all in all, I really like the helmet. I think that that's one of the reasons why you're able to hear me as well as you are in my motovlogs, is because it is a very quiet helmet, despite the fact that I've been using up until now the typical Samsung headphone set for my microphones that comes with your phone to be used. But yeah, this is a really quiet system, and I really like it for that reason. One thing I would say is if you did have the option to get the GT Air, the original, which they don't sell anymore, but you're able to find one, and you don't want the Sena system, from what I can tell, that's actually a better buy. So I would go for that if you had that option, because you can get it for cheaper, and it's really the same helmet. It just doesn't have the Sena system installed into it. Overall, what would I give this helmet as a rating? I would say I'd give it a 4.5, which kind of lines up with the overall rating on RevZilla.com. They give it an overall rating of 4.4 between 53 different reviews. And again, I want to emphasize, if you're not using a windscreen on your motorcycle, or if that windscreen keeps the air from coming and hitting that top part of your helmet, then this is definitely a good option for you to choose. If you are using a windscreen that allows the air to hit that top part, this is probably not the best option. So anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have you ever used a SHOEI? Have you ever used the GT Air or the GT Air 2? Let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.